you need to make or doing the Zooms that you need to do? What are those things? Yeah, how much time are you spending on personal development? How much time are you spending on watching things that you shouldn't watch? Or maybe talking about things you shouldn't talk about? I know one of the things, Carl, that I had to work on, it's been quite a while. I've kind of grown from this, and not that I'm perfect, but if something bothered me, I would just want to talk about it and talk about it. I would talk about it to one person, then I would talk about it to another person. And Holy Spirit had to grow me up and say, you get one time. So you better figure out who you're going to talk to. You better make sure they're encouraging and empowering and going to give you some answers and some solutions, because we ain't going to keep having the same conversation. You could burn up your whole day on something that upsets you. And I have a big family. So, and kind of being the mama bear and the oldest sister, if you will, it would be rabbit trails of what was going on with a niece or a nephew or a cousin or a sibling or a child or whatever. And it's like, is this serving you? Figure out what the answer is. And if you don't know the answer, pray to the God that has the answer. If you feel like you need to get some wisdom, but then move on. Because one thing about all of those kinds of habits, whether it's that, or maybe some of y'all might be getting up in the morning and, taking a drink, because you have replaced, and it seems like drink is helping you, or the joint or whatever, really is just putting you in a state of not dealing with reality and your clarity and your ability to think and process. So, those are some things that we really have to look at. Those are some things we really have to ask ourselves. And that's the thing about it, like nobody can answer that question for you, and a lot of those cases have, hey, is Sakina on here? I want to do that thing you was telling me about. Sakina, are you on here? All right. So, those are just all the things that we got to kind of, have those real conversations with ourselves and really ask ourselves, like, where am I at? Where do I need to be? What are my habits? What's stopping me? And sometimes it's, even though we're in a money field, it don't mean everybody got money, mastered. Sometimes it's maybe, spending habits that cause instability, of my situation. If I gotta, this month I'm here, 10 months later, auntie, I'm here. 1 minute I'm driving this, 1 minute I'm not driving this. I got the insurance today, but the insurance lapses 30 days later. And those are things that I found that, like, when you get ready to go up, when you get ready to scale up, Holy Spirit really starts to dig into those places. And I think I told y'all this, but even for me, going from one level to the next, Diana, when I looked at my accounting, it was a whole hot mess. And the reason it was a hot mess is because I had my real estate, right? And I'm talking, this is like 3 years ago. So this ain't no long time. Fresh testimony. So I had real estate money coming in. I'm buying and selling houses, but it was happening so fast. The record keeping, if I needed to go back, right, Lena, and say, I bought Burlingame on January 5th, 2017. And then I don't even know how much money I put in it. Contractors are calling and saying, I need a water heater, I need this. I'm going into the real estate account, so that, hold on a second. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So yeah, so so the money is going out. I'm paying for the stuff on Burlingame, but then I got stuff I'm paying for in Cascade. I got stuff I'm paying for, da 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 da. And when they're like, "Well, how much did you spend for your repairs on Burlingame?" Huh? What'd you say?
I muted him out.
Oh, okay. I don't know if somebody was trying to ask a question or something. So anyway, I had to bring on more accounting. So because I couldn't do it, so I could have did it, but it would have taken me so much time. So then I had to bring on a property manager. Then once I brought on the property manager, I still needed to. So that property manager started helping me invoice every invoice. So then the accountant helped me with, pulling things together there. This is an accountant now calling me, actually, honest to God. But anyway, so I had to go in and really sort and get stuff in order where I could tell you, I bought Burlingame on this day. I sold it here. This is how much I had invested. This is how much I need to profit. So what am I saying to some of you? Some of you need to be with Bench is a great accounting service, and they don't even charge that much. Really, they don't. Honest to God, they do not charge a lot at all. Burlingame is amazing. Burlingame. Bench is amazing. So I would recommend some of you, you might say, well, how do I know if I'm ready for Bench? You're ready for Bench if you can't quickly say how much you brought in and how much are your expenses and how much did you net. Now, I'm going to tell you, Leona, when you first start bringing on help, Joe, it feels like in your mind, you're saying, I can't afford it. I'm really proud of my auntie because she finally is really bringing in a housekeeper. And I think if you were to unmute, you would probably say, oh my gosh, why didn't I do this earlier? When I brought on Bench, I was like, oh my gosh,
why didn't I do this earlier? Jesus.
Right? So now what's happening? Your mind is clearer. Your mind is clear. And one thing I've learned about the Spirit of God, Auntie, is he respects order. So, and I'm writing some notes right now. Keep a journal next to you, y'all. I keep a journal next to me because it be so many things going through my head. People I know I need to call, things I need to do. But the end of the year has always been a time of great correction for me. Great correction and instruction. But you know what, Jornita? I receive it. Let me tell them to call my daughter. Hello. Yeah, this is her mom. Can you call my daughter? Because she was trying to get a hold of her taxes. Do you have her number? Yes. Yeah, it's the same 6 digits. But can you call her at 7761 615 207 7761? Yes. Okay, thanks. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, so basically, I'm helping her get her stuff together. I was like, what were your taxes for 2017? She's like, I was like, girl, you better find out. You're making all this influencer money. You better know what's going on. Ask them for all your tax records, go over them with them. So anyway, walking her through that. But that's where I find, especially us as a people, because we haven't had a lot of these conversations. And that's where I found when increase really started coming, it was when I started getting real honest, not with what people could see. Because, we could put on. But when you start talking about going from 1M to 5M to 10M, it's a whole nother thing. And if you don't get super disciplined, if you don't get super serious, which is why you have to start to hire people in your life to scale you. Otherwise, you will repeat the same life that you've always lived. And I'm not saying it's time to hire everybody right now. It might just be Bench. I want to say for all, because Bench, they charge you based on your transactions, how many transactions. And I'm going to say, Mill would have to give me the real price on this, but I want to say I paid Bench between, say hi, Vinny, to everyone.
Hey, good people.
I'm talking about how we roast ourselves, how we, talk about we got to get to the next level.
Scale up.
And scale up and pull back all them covers. You know what I'm saying? Dwayne said, "What's up, my guy?" The way he was hollering this morning, he was like, "Hey!" I said, "What happened?" He said, "I made thousands of dollars overnight."
Amen.
Baby, what did you do yesterday? What did you do yesterday total? Do you know? What you did last night?
Yesterday, it was about 7,000.
Okay, he said it was a slim day. It was 7,000. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord.
I'll talk to him later.
All right, I know, right? So anyway, so we had to, Diane, kind of look and see where. Don't tell me, because here's the thing: you could get so focused, and it's important to know the areas that you're strong in, and it's important to know the areas that you're great in. But it's also equally important, Anita, to know where am I weak. Where am I weak, and where do I need to be strengthened, and how am I going to strengthen that? And all of us have to do that. All of us have to be able to say, "Hey, I'm weak here, and I need help here," and then be willing to get the help. And I think that's where us as a people, we have to be able to say, you know what, I'm worth the help, and I'm ready to receive the help, because I can be out here. And honest to God, when we started cleaning up, even yesterday, because I've been traveling so much for the last 2 weeks, I had a pile about this high. And it was just paperwork that either needed to be filed, bills that possibly needed to be paid, contractor stuff that I did here. And Tasha was supposed to have off these last 2 weeks. I called her. I said, you can't, because right now I don't feel clear. And I know we about to go into Christmas, but I got to make sure this stuff is handled. So I had her email certain documents to the accountant, to things. I got this trust and foundation now. I had to make sure that was together. We had some work done. He had a new glass door put in, because we had new floors put in. And when the new floors came, he already had a glass door. But that glass door, I thought it was paid. I wasn't sure if it was paid. I called them. Then we had to get a new thermostat. I wanted to make sure that guy got paid. So I had to go through and be responsible. If you owe people, you have to at least set up installments. I owed the IRS. And thank you, Jesus. I sent them, I don't pay that much in taxes now because of my foundation and my trust, but I still ended up having to pay like $7,400. I knew I owed it. They sent a thing last month. I knew it was coming. My accountant told me that's cool. And I was like, okay, but I put my date down, pay the IRS. So I got that paid. So I'm paying off so you got to sit down with your money and get off of December has always been a big month of correction for me. Correction, clarity, and vision. Correction, clarity, and vision. Correction, clarity, and vision. Because if there's no correction, then there's not going to be any what'll happen is, if there's not real correction, I'm writing this down, correction, clarity, and vision. Because if there's no real correction, Anthony, then you're not going to really have, your vision is going to be like crack vision. Like you on crack, because you ain't handled, you know what I'm saying? I'm not speaking out of y'all, I renounce that. But my point is, like, you're not handling the stuff that you need to handle over here. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't paid them bills. At least call them people and tell them I'm going to pay you. I told the IRS. Tasha got IRS on the phone. I said, tell them they can expect their check before Christmas. That check went out last week. So everything has an assignment. I don't just be like, I got the money. Let me just. No, everything has an assignment. Everything has an assignment. Everything. I don't just take it just because I have it. That's what gets people in trouble, and they don't end up having it anymore. So take time. And if you don't know what areas you need to have some correction in, then I'm going to recommend that you talk to somebody that you trust that probably has more than you, ideally, and ask them, when you look at my life, now you can't be offended. It's another reason why people can't always grow because you're not going to offend it. Ask them, okay, if you look at my life, what would you say I need to improve on? What would you need to say is an area for me? And then let them be super honest. If you don't know, some of you might know areas of your weakness already. So I know for me, it was accounting because we have a lot coming in. Thank you, Lord. But it wasn't as clean as I needed it to be. And so now, thank you, Lord, I feel really good about, I'm clear. If you ask me specific questions about my income, about my expenses, about the account that I use to pay what out of, Ruth, I may not know it off the top of my head, but I can go back to a file and say, okay, this is what happened here. Da 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 da. Okay. So get in there and see it. Or it might be not with, but I'm talking about the money part, because I think for a lot of Black people, that's been because we haven't had these kind of conversations. You know what I'm saying? And so we just go and wonder, why isn't such and such really growing? Well, they could have been scaled, but they didn't pay people back. Or they didn't at least make installments, or they didn't at least be responsible and say, hey, I know I owe you this money. You know, it'll be here by this time. You see what I'm saying? Or you can expect to get it on this day. You got to communicate. And even when it's hard, you got to communicate. I'm helping my grandpa Frank, who's my grandfather, because my grandma moved to heaven. And so he was telling me he moved into his place, Auntie, which is great. He said, I don't have a bed, I don't have furniture, you know, I need some help. And so I had already decided there were some things that I wanted to do, right? But honestly speaking, and this is no shade, he wasn't prepared. You know, he wasn't prepared. He didn't have insurance. He was asking other family members if they had insurance. Guys, stop and take care of that. Stop and handle that. I have insurance on my parents. I'm not just depending on their insurance. Like, handle that. Handle your business. Oh, the door's locked. So, you know, that's really important. Handle those things that are uncomfortable to talk about. Talk about those things that are uncomfortable with your family. And also yourself this year. Hey, how are you?
Right.
This is such a nice, this is Mr. Tenpenny.
Keep everybody hot.
He keeps he's here taking care of AC and our heat. Such a blessing. But like, even when he was here, he was on some work last week. I was like, how much we owe you? Pay your people. They will come and take care of you. You see what I'm saying? And if you can't pay them right then, have the conversation. Because if you're not responsible with what you have, why are you asking for more? Oh, when I get more. No, you won't. You know how many people who have made tons and tons of money, but they was raggedy with their management, and their stewardship was raggedy, and they didn't ever correct it. And because they never corrected it, then you see what I'm saying? They didn't end up keeping it, you know? So those are just, I want you guys to take the end of the year, as much as I want you to relax, I want you to enjoy family, but I'm having this conversation with you guys because it's really important, because I want us to all grow. I want to grow. I want you to grow. I'm not interested, you know, Darylyn, in repeating 2021. 2021 was an amazing year for me. Thank you, Lord. It was a doggone good year across the board. You see what I'm saying? But when I say I'm not interested in repeating it, so, you know, I'm going through now, pulling back the layers, you know, of everything that we've done accounting wise, you know, Would you say we need to get in and keep our affairs handled? Yeah, auntie, we got to. So then once we do that, then we can go over and we can say, okay, now let me start creating vision. Now, if you got a picture, I want you to have mansions on your poster board or condo or penthouse or whatever you're believing for, Rolls Royce truck, which is mine. I don't know if anybody else here is believing for Cullinan, but I know I am for 2022. Okay, so if your girl pull up, but I also have had to be diligent. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes we want to go straight to the, you want to go straight to the big stuff and the amazing stuff, but you got to go through and deal with those other things. Even like I said, it could be just as small as when I get out of the bed, make it up immediately, right? Like you can't be believing for all of this and your house is nasty. You know what I mean? Clean the toilets, pick it up, pick up the toilet, clean around the bowl until you get a housekeeper. I got a housekeeper and I still cleaned my toilet this morning. I got a housekeeper. She'll be here probably in the next few minutes. But I still clean my toilet. I'm like, you need to be clean. I'm finna clean it. So you want to practice, just get in the habit of like practicing excellence, practicing organization. I have a file folder that I get from Office Max because I keep digital copies of my receipts. And then I also keep, digital copies, and then I also keep the hard copies as well. And so I categorize, each month. So what I do is I collect all the receipts in a month, and then I'll put them in that file folder, and then I'll file it away. So if you say, how much did you spend January 2019? I can go back, and if I ever had an audit, I could go and pull out all those receipts, and they can add them up, and they can know this is exactly what you spent. And then I broke them up. Are we all set?
Yeah, I've been out here. I've been out here twice this morning.
Really?
Yeah. It wasn't what we thought it was the first time. That was still working fine.
Okay.
There's a circuit board I had to change.
Oh, got it. Okay. How much is that going to cost us? Okay. All right. Let me get you handled. It's Christmas. Thank you for that. So is the heat on now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Awesome. We appreciate you, Mr. Champagny. I was hoping you didn't forget about us today. I was like, I hope Mr. Champagny makes it. Are you staying home for Christmas?
Yeah, we don't.
Well, that's nice. Being at home is great. With heat, especially. All right. All right, very good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Merry Christmas. Been in there yelling. We appreciate you. Okay. So yeah, guys, and like I said, it's just something like I've gotten into practice of like when you have the money, some stuff you can 30-day. You know what I'm saying? That's it, Ariel. Faithful over few, ruler over many. And that's really what it's about. And so I want you to get in the habit of grabbing your journal, writing in this journal every day. And I use my journal not just for my prospects and my leaders and my IM business, but for my life. So I'll have on here, call the accountant. So like when I get done with this, I'm gonna make sure my daughter is handling her stuff with her accountant because that's her business. He was calling me. I'm like, no, you call her. Right? But, she got IM commissions. I manage it, but she gets it. So she still gets taxed on some of that. But anyway, my point is I write down everything that I know that I need to handle because I have so much that I got to handle in a day. And now this year, with my vision being bigger than it was last year, I really got to make sure that I go in here and really become a very integrous, sound businesswoman that's reliable, that's dependable, that keeps her word, that shows up where she says she's going to show up. like I said, not tweaking the areas that we're strong, but really looking at the areas where we're weak, and then we can build vision from there. And so that's why, I made a big deal about Auntie getting a housekeeper, because it's been something I've been believing for her for a long time. I've been knowing she's worth it. I've been knowing she's valuable. I've been knowing, you're going to make more money when you bring on the help. And I know at first, when I'm going to tell you, I don't think Mill is on this call, but I'm going to tell you, when we went from bench to this new accounting firm, first of all, when I found out how much the foundation and trust was, I almost backed out. I almost choked. Then after that, once I found that out, and then I said, okay, I did it. But then when I found out the accounting firm that I was going to use to maintain it, when they told me how much my monthly bill was going to be, I was like, it's a whole mortgage. But it was like, but girl, you're making it. And I literally had to have it. I'll forever be grateful for Jay. Jay said, Jewel, I don't think you see yourself. God really used him in this moment. He said, because do you see what you have? That's pennies for what you're bringing in. And I'll be forever grateful for him for that, because in that moment, Kathy, I was wanting to choke. Well, I don't know. We just gonna hang out with Bench. Baby, you graduated from Bench. You know what I'm saying? You graduated, and I was over here like, I was uncomfortable in the mud. Right, Kathy feeling the same. That squeeze was real. I was like, oh no. He's like, you trying to go back down here? You graduated from that. And that's why you uncomfortable, because you graduated, and now it's going to cost you more money. And you like, can I afford it? You can't afford not to do it. I guarantee you don't do this, you stay in the same. You stay in the same. You stay in the same. If you don't invest in yourself here, you stay in the same. And all of us have those points. You don't get that housekeeper, you stay in the same. You don't get that cook, you stay in the same. You don't get that personal assistant, you stay in the same. You got to add value to yourself. And when you add value to yourself, Sean, it costs. Big vision, poster boards. Woo! I want you to do it. Lord knows I want you to do it. We got to do it. I want you writing out your goals. I want you writing out your affirmations. But I also want to make sure that you allow Holy Spirit to correct you. The Bible says that he corrects those he loves. You getting high every day, break it down to once a week. That's what I did when the Holy Ghost started telling me, you about to start smoking this weed. I was like,
Dr. Joy, you just threw me right there.
You know she's telling the truth, Dr. K.
Yes,
I
know the stories. That's why I just fell out.
It's the truth. It's the truth. I like getting high when I got high. But God was starting to pull me, and deal with me. He said, you got to come up higher. But I also knew I was sluggish. I knew I wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer. You know what I'm saying? Girl was getting a little slow, little slow. And so then eventually, once a month, and eventually it made me depressed, because it was just like, it's over. And I was back. I smoked my last joint when I was 22. And now I can't stand the smell of it. I don't want no part of it. It's like I stopped smoking weed and I just went straight to the top. And so, and I know it's illegal and all that. I ain't judging. Y'all do whatever y'all want to do. I'm just telling you, I knew in order for me to be the very best, I needed all my cylinders working. I needed all of my faculties working. I didn't need nothing slowing me down. So I hope this helped today. Correction, clarity, and vision are the three. And again, if you're not real sure where you need to be tweaked, ask somebody that loves you and also has big vision. Don't ask nobody with small vision what they think, because they're going to be like, you good, sis. No, you don't need nobody telling you good. You need somebody talking to you about that checkbook, when I say checkbook, not that you necessarily writing checks, but I mean that your business, how do you handle your business? How many people do you owe? Have you had those conversations with them? Who's doing your accounting? If no one, then if your house is always nasty, start with once a month. Just have somebody come in. My daughter has somebody come in twice a month, and they in an apartment. And she said, Mom, what do you think about me getting someone to clean this place twice a month? I was like, well, you believe it. I'm never going to tell somebody don't do it. You believe you're valuable, so do it. So when you get ready to buy your condo, you already used to having help. It's important to learn how to receive help. That's just as important as growing. All right. So anybody want to weigh in before we get ready to wrap? We're not doing any Rise and Profit for the rest of the week. You guys are off, but presentations are still going on today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Rise and Profit will resume next Monday. Okay. Any feedback or anybody want to chime in on anything?
Yeah, I enjoyed. I needed this morning. I mean, if you could see all the mess on my desk, all the stacks of bills and everything, and just talked to Jay last night. He was asking where you read. I said, I don't know. I got a trade for that. I don't know. He said, Dr. K, you already got it. You're gonna have to come on now. You done did all of the other stuff. I was like, I know. I just need a minute, but I thank God for your clarity on this morning, because this was like, yeah, I don't know. That's too much. I done already paid a lot. I mean, you realize we're in a recession? He said, but you're not in a recession. The country is. And I was like, okay. All right, I need a minute. And then I get on the day, and this is exactly what you're talking about. So I know it's God. So thank you.
Call me after, because I want to give you one strategy to that.
Okay. All right, I will.
Okay, before you do anything.
Hey, Dr. J.
Oh, go ahead, Sean. Go ahead, King.
Oh, no. Go ahead, Dwayne. Go ahead.
Okay, well, mine's gonna be brief anyway. So I just wanted to just thank her for, just for, I don't know where you get these topics from, girl. I'm like, how do you come up with these topics? But it was so on point, and one point I want to pull out is just, having those tough conversations. I think that is really crucial, and on both ends, not just with respected leadership, but also just with, with owing folks. we make money and stuff like that, but sometimes I think I got something on auto draft or auto pay, and it ends up not being on pay, and then I get a call from somebody saying I owe some money. I'm like, how I owe you some money? But it's like, you got to call these people and set this stuff up. So just having those uncomfortable conversations, I think is crucial, especially for our community. And I want to just pull that out. That's something that I've been exposed to maybe a couple years ago, and I'm still working my way through it. So I got to keep pushing myself on that to keep having those uncomfortable conversations, because I come from a background where if you owe somebody, you just don't say nothing.
Right.
You just don't say nothing, and you think it's going to disappear, and that's not cool, So I practice that even with small folk, not say small folk, but like I owe some money, like on some furniture. I had, I had a payment plan on, and I'm like, no, call them people, don't have them people dangling. I mean, don't call them people and set something up, and at least let them know, like, hey, I'm gonna set something up with you. We're gonna take care of that. I apologize. And come to find out, it was a much smoother transaction because I communicated. So I want to just kind of put that out there, and I'm glad that you mentioned that. So anyway, I'm not gonna hold too much time. I just want to just kind of pull that point out, and I'm gonna have to talk to you about that bench, because I got some accounting, but hey, maybe that bench might be better. So I'll talk to you later about that, I guess.
Yeah, happy Dwayne, and I think that's why I wanted to have a conversation, because I think people have this false sense, just because somebody has had success, that means that they have it all together. I think, as a matter of fact, the more successful you become, the more transparent you have to be in your dealings, and particularly your money. Are you paying your bills? Do you owe a bunch of people? What's going on with the taxes? Have you made installments? Did you have a conversation? Are you overspending? All those things are really, really, really important. My husband and I both, as extravagant as we live, we also are very, very prudent with, how we spend our money. We do. God has blessed us. We have lots of liquidity and lots of crypto, but everything has an assignment. You know what I mean? I get much for Christmas. I'm hoping to get it, but I don't know because he's like, well, I could go spend it. I could go buy it right now. I could go buy it right now. But we also have vision and specific, which has allowed us over the years, since we started pretty much at the bottom, and continuing to scale every single year. But it's because we practice these things. We're not just going out. I could go color right now. I could go get it right now and not even be under pressure to get it or to keep it. But the first priority is the title on this mansion. Once I get the title on this mansion, which is going to happen in 2022, we've already strategized. We're going to do it. But doing that, you see what I'm saying? So it's like making sure that we're as big as we talk, live, vision, dream, that we're also very, very sober and very sound. Baby, I gotta get away, get on Instagram. No, you gotta get on our Instagram, baby.
Well, thank you again, Dr. Jill. Thank you for pulling that
Your
out.
number now. Absolutely. All right, somebody else?
Yeah, I want to jump in there.
This is Takina. Oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Queen. Go ahead.
Listen, thank you so much. I wanted to jump on here. My phone has been blowing up. Thank you for calling me. I don't know what it is that I missed, but I was in a situation. My car was wrecked, and I had to go back and forth between rental units and get my grandson. So that's why I'm late on the call. Came in right on time because your message is definitely, just like everybody has said, was definitely right on point. And I just wanted to share something. When I was going P5 and I had just a handful of numbers to get, and it was at that point where it was just like, man, nothing was really popping. And I was on a call with Randy, and I've heard this type of conversation he was having about the importance of having your energy in the right place so you can attract these things to you. And I've heard, Tony Robbins and some amazing people talk about energy, to quote Boston on here. But in my head, up to that point, I always attributed having the right energy when it came to business. So when I get on a Zoom, my energy is right. When I'm doing a presentation, my energy is right. When I'm talking to my team, my energy is right. But then when it came to me having to pay some bills, my energy was not right. I would get frustrated. I'm like, oh man, I gotta make this payment again, or I'm so glad, so my energy was off. And that morning on that call, when he said that, it hit me. It was like, no, because the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So your energy has to be on point 24/7 for everything that you're dealing with, the good, the bad, and everything in between. So when I got off that call, it was a $900 payment that I had to make for something that, I got myself involved in. And anyway, every single month, $900. And every single month I would just be frustrated. So when I got off that call, I made the call to that company. And I was like, hey, let me give y'all this money, And so we just had a good time with it. We were laughing and talking. Her computer had crashed during the call. She's like, I've never had somebody be so excited about paying me, paying us some money. I appreciate your patience and da-da-da-da-da. And just like what Dwayne talked about, it was a smooth transition. But what happened was it opened up so much more for me in the environment, in the universe, and it just changed how I thought about everything at that point. But it started with me shifting my energy, and instead of looking at, oh, I got to pay this bill, it was like, man, I'm grateful that I can pay this bill, because I remember there was a time when I couldn't, and pretty soon this bill will be paid off. So it was a shift in that energy for me that's really helped me approach paying bills and getting out of debt and things that I'm still working on, but it helped me break that poverty mindset that I really had for a lot of years. So thank you for allowing me to speak on this call, and thank you for everything, the processes, and making us stretch our thinking. This is why, plug for Go Chairman in Little Rock, this is why I can hardly wait to hear you speak and so many other chairmen speak at this event, because this is one of the things that we're really going to be talking about is this money situation too. So thank you guys.
Yes. I'm proud of you, girl. You have the point, because it's easy to be like, chance to pay a bill and then get in the habit of trying to get as soon as you have it. If the money's not there, the money's not there. Have a conversation with them. But when you can, you guys saw the Heat Man came literally while I was here, and I gladly paid him, and he would have billed us because that's what he usually does. we're on net 30 with most places, but I'm like, no, it's just the money is there. Pay the man. And it seems like, and so don't look at it as like money is going to look at it as quarters, right? Pay our bills. Cause like you said, it was just couldn't pay it. You know what I mean? I'm grateful that I'm in a house like this and can pay it with no problem. He gives a number. I wrote it. No questions asked. That's a whole blessing in itself. You know, we have 6 thermostats in this house. 6, you know? So I'm grateful that I'm like, thank you, Lord, you've put us in a position to be able to pay it and to take care of it. So that was really, really good. Oh, also, Sakina, what was your
Yeah, the immersive view. So if you go to where it shows you like gallery view,
okay,
or it shows you speaker, and then you'll see where it says immersive view. You can click on that.
Mine just says forget the whole screen.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine. Well, I'm on my phone, so but on my laptop.
Because I'm on my laptop, I might have to.
Because normally, maybe because you may have to do the update. They sent out an update recently. Oh, and I just put the updater and gallery view. You'll see it.
Okay, cool. I'll do that. Thanks, babe. Okay, somebody else. Someone else?
Yeah. Let me jump in here real quick. My gosh, man. Look, Dr. Jewel, you got me today. I'm not gonna lie. You got me with the what? With the what? She where? What? So anyway, look, so a couple things, that I definitely learned is, I used to be very, very, very prideful about my financial situation, many years ago, especially when you're a dad and then you go through divorce and then, you got to deal with stuff like child support and you're like, man, I got to take this off the top, and you got to deal with those kind of issues. And so I always pray to be better and wiser with my finances. And so, one thing I definitely learned, like you said, Dr. Jewel, is communication is key. Even if you owe friends or family members, even if you pay $10, because I've loaned out money to people. And my thing is, if you just make an attempt even to pay $5 or $10 every month, it might get to like 2 months and I might be like, you know what, we good. Like, let's just go ahead and call it a wash. Because I see, you was in a situation, but because you communicated, we're good. And so that's why communication is really important, especially when you're very prideful about it. The next thing I learned is work on your credit. Like if you want to win in your personal finances, one thing I did years ago is I started slowly working on my credit. I had great credit, but then when you get married and you go through stuff, the creditors like to put your spouse's stuff on your stuff and, you didn't even aware of it. I make a habit that every birthday I pull my full credit report and then I just make sure everything's good. Now, my credit is A1, but it took time, and so made settlements, cleared stuff off, disputed stuff. And then I added credit cards and stuff over time. And I just made sure I follow with my budget, never got my debt income ratio, too high on any of my stuff. And my score started going up. And then I just made sure I started clearing up debt. And then, of course, just like Dr. Kathy, we got involved with putting the trust and the wealth flow together. And Kathy, I'm going to tell you that definitely was the best move we could make, but it definitely was scary. And it was a big move. But, on the back end, we put the things in place to build our legacy. And sometimes it just takes time to get to that point. But yeah, and then, of course, Dr. Jewel, I want to thank you. At last year, the year before, we were thinking about, man, is it time to get a house? Someone to come in and work our house, because now, our house started getting busy. My little son started getting older, and now I'm trying to, you guys remember when I used to have little Sean on my lap doing Rise and Profit calls? Now he's sitting here telling me to get off the calls and trying to talk on the calls. And so I said, look, we need some help. And so we started once a month with the cleaning service. And now we went to twice a month. And then eventually, we'll get to the point where we're really looking now to get maybe a part-time person to come in, maybe, once a week to kind of help out, just so I can continue on the chairman run and focus. And so it helps stretch us in that way. And so I truly appreciate, all your guidance with that, because it's really the surrounding of your circle. Because again, you got to look at your circle. If none of your friends or family are doing those things and you want what Dr. Jewel has, you got to change that. I definitely learned that. You just got to change that, because your conversations will be different. The looks is different. Housekeeper, And, and I'm looking like with Dr. Jewel, like, yeah, like you ain't got a housekeeper. Like, whoa, like we late. Like we need to get a once a week. And other people like, I'm not going to let nobody in my house to clean, just a different mindset. And so you definitely got to work on changing that part. Not saying you can't love those people, but, at the same time, you got to, if you're going to elevate, you got to change. And I think the last thing I'll say, people like me, Dwayne, Ray, and women who are in sports, we learned that the way we get better is we played with people who were better than us. We didn't have a problem. When you play with people whose skill set is better, or, income wise, they're higher, or, skill set wise, whatever the case may be, it forces you to grow and adapt. And that's what, God made us to do. He made us to go ahead and be in environments and adapt. And that uncomfortable is the part that you want to embrace. It's the comfortable part that, is built to hold us back. So being uncomfortable, I learned to feel good with being uncomfortable, because I know that's change. Just like when you're working on your muscles or sore, your body's changing. When you're losing weight and those clothes feel funny, you're changing. And so if you haven't felt a change, or if you haven't felt uncomfortable, then that lets you know you've been in your space too long, and it's definitely time to continue changing. So that's all I got. Thank you so much. Appreciate this space. And man, Dr. Jewel, you always surprise me just when I think you can't surprise me no more.
Amen. Amen. I'm excited, Sean, and great job on, working to get your credit together and cleaned up and, all of that. And, all this stuff takes responsibility, and there are times sometimes that we just want to have the blessing, but with no responsibility. I always say, the higher you go, the narrower your path becomes, in that if you want to keep it, you got to really start exercising new levels of responsibility and new levels of discipline, and also new levels of accountability. I have to be accountable. If I throw $15,000 in my account because I did a cash deal, when my accountant comes back and says, where does $15,000 come from? Well, none of your business. Well, it is, because he's helping me stay on the straight and narrow. You should have threw it in the safe. You know what I'm saying? But I just can't be like, yeah, I made $100,000. I ain't got to tell you where I got it from. I mean, listen, you got to be responsible. You just can't, making the money is great, but it's all about the stewardship. It's all about the stewardship. So, all right, anybody else before we wrap?
Hey, Dr. Jewel.
Hi,
this is Felicia from Atlanta.
Hey,
I just wanted to say thank you. I'm not a newborn with the company anymore, but I've only been in 5 months. But because of your honesty and transparency, you don't make it seem as if though you're above anybody, and so when you're doing that, and it makes me say I can strive for those things as well. I may be comfortable at my level, but now I can reach further, because now I have to stop going on fear and go out on faith. And it makes me work harder. So for those little things that you really don't need, it makes you sit there and judge it and say, okay, this isn't worth it, but this is more beneficial to me and my family and my future and what I can bring to the generation. So I want to thank you for your leadership and the honesty, the transparency that you give. And I want to thank you and Auntie Jay for being there.
Oh, so sweet. So sweet. Definitely appreciate you too. And, thanks for being a part of the team. And, I just want everybody to know we all people and nobody got all the answers and nobody got everything together. We are all a work in progress. I think it's just being okay with saying I'm a work in progress. I let people know. I don't try to tell people I know everything. I'm like, I don't know. I'm learning. I don't know. I'm figuring it out. It's okay to do that. I think there's a very healthy thing in vulnerability. It's what allows us to be able to grow. Because if people feel like in order to be successful, you got to know everything, you got to have everything. That's, first of all, it's a lie, right? Because there's no perfect person. We all need help. And I think the more we realize we need help, and then the more we realize that we're willing to receive help, that's the thing. Will you receive it? Will you pay? And that also means sometimes you have to pay for it. I needed help with my infrastructure. I had stuff all over the place. I had a lot of entities that had made a lot of money, was making a lot of money, but I really feel like God was like helping me get to that place before stuff started slipping through the cracks, because there was no way I was going to be able to continue to scale with the way stuff was. When they did my mapping thing, the Jay does, I was like, good Lord. It was a blessing, but it was also like, child, you had a lot of cleanup. A whole cleanup. It was a whole blessing, but with that blessing came also a lot of responsibilities. I had dumpster trucks. I had truck drivers. I mean, we were paying them, but it was like we had so much business coming in. It was just like, and then my business partner in the dumpster business, he wasn't good at details. So he was getting all this business, but then it was just all kinds of stuff. So anyway, it's cleaned up now. Thank the Lord. It took about 1.5 years to get cleaned up, I would say. And I think we're pretty cleaned up now. I feel really good. The team feels good. Yes, babe. Hold on, y'all. Y'all keep talking. Keep it going. I'll come right back.
Hey, y'all, let me add this one part. This is Sean here. I forgot to say this one last part. When I started tithing, when I started continuously tithing, and I struggled to continuously tithe, I promise you that's when my finances did a 180. When I made a decision to tithe, and, I don't know what your, understanding of that is, but when I started tithing, that changed my feeling. It changed just how, finances came in. It helped my pride, you know what I'm saying? Because look, you can't get more if you can't let go. You can't get more if you can't let go. If God sees that you holding on to that $10 so hard that you got arthritis in your hand, then you can't open up your hand to receive more. And that was the biggest lesson I think I learned as I started maturing more in Christ. So that was it. I can say all the other credit and all that other stuff, but when I consistently, remember the word is consistently, not just, this week and then, I skip a month and then next month. No, when I struggled, listen to that. When I struggled to tithe, when I struggled, that's when more came. And that's when my finances definitely changed around. So I just wanted to add that. So thank y'all. I appreciate you even allowing me to speak on the call.
That's also the laws of sowing and reaping. We can't expect to reap these these cookers and all of that. We can't expect to reap that if we don't sow it. So when you're faithful over a few things, that's when God begins to bless you with many more. And to whom much is given, much is required. Like she was saying, like Sean was saying, I always call him Pastor James. He just be ignoring me, but he's tired and now, y'all. So it's working. I'm gonna keep on saying Pastor Sean James. But when Dr. Joe was talking about, being on another level with your business and your home and your finances, and it's true, it comes a greater responsibility. And so, that's all a part of growing. And what I love the most is what she said, and Auntie Jeannie chimed in on it as well, is how, don't wait for our family members to have the life insurance. Me and my husband have been talking about it for a couple of weeks and everything. And we was trying to figure out how can we cover this, because, when it comes down to it, they're coming to us. And so we're trying to be prepared, at least for our immediate family. But, some of our older generations, they weren't prepared like we're being prepared now. So, it's not going to hurt or anything like that. So we're looking into taking out more insurance, on some of our family members as well. So, and just insure your business. You insure your business by giving your tithes and your offering and being faithful over the few, so that you can get blessed with many. Because, even though Dr. Joe's getting their Rolls Royce SUV, I want the Phantom. I don't know where I'm going to drive it to, but I want it just to put it in front of the house.
I love it. No, that's good. Okay, cool. I just wanted to take some extra time because we will not have Rise and Profit for the rest of the week. I'll see you guys back on here Monday. Anybody, anything else?
Hey, Dr. Jewel.
Hi, Anthony.
Anthony from Birmingham, UK. I just really wanted to say thank you for these calls. These calls have been amazing confirmation every single time. Today's call has been the same. I've been doing my vision board. I've been reflecting for correcting. So when you're saying about correction, I was like, that's the kind of season I'm in right now, just really looking at what needs to change in order for my next season to be better. And when God started downloading on me the things that he had for me in 2022 and in this new season of my life, I started preparing for it. And I realized that my capacity wasn't big enough for me to be able to handle everything that he had in store for me. And so I started praying the prayer of Jabez, Lord, enlarge my territory, right? Because the territory will determine the size of the house. I can't build a bigger house on small land. So I started praying, asking God for like a larger size. And when you started talking about the team and so forth, getting people together, that was it for me. So I want to thank you so much again for these calls. Thank you for being so consistent with them. Thank you for putting people in place to speak on them. Everyone that has spoken this year, 2021, has been absolutely on point. So shouts out to the team on that. I did have a question that I wanted to ask, and it's more pertaining to the business specifically. And that's with, I know what my weakness is, right? I have no problem like piquing interest. All right. No problem piquing interest. I got loads of people that are running me down, wanting to know about what it is that I'm doing. I just don't have the systems in place. So could you give a recommendation of systems to put in place to be able to get back to everybody? Now, I'm a very personable person, Dr. Jules, so I want to contact everybody personally, right? But I understand that I can't do that. I don't have the capacity to be able to contact everybody. So what systems would you recommend for me to be able to get back to everybody, to let everybody know the information?
Yeah, that's really good. So first of all, Anthony, I want to tell you, I really appreciate your representation and your leadership in the UK. You have really held it down. The wind is blown. People have come and gone from the UK and America as well, but you're still standing. I always have a tremendous amount of respect for people when they continue to stand. I think sometimes people I think have this false sense of what success looks like. And in their mind, they're thinking, oh, it's supposed to be easy, or everything's supposed to go my way, or I'm supposed to, I don't know. But it's crazy because I'm like, no, the wind's going to blow. You're going to have cycles. You're going to have high times. You're going to have other times where you're building. It's just a part of it. But you don't stop just because somebody else decides that they don't want to build a business, or somebody else decides that they want to be offended. And so I can respect people who don't allow their feelings to be led by their feelings. I think that offense is a huge spirit that's stopping people in the world today. And people who stay offended don't win. Unfortunately, they are the losers in life. They're the ones that are broke, the ones that are always upset about something or someone. So I've never seen that in you, and your diligence is remarkable and it stands out. So I just want to tell you that. So first, I would say, getting like a core group of people that are going to help you. So for example, every single day I have leads that are created from my funnel. So I have Facebook leads, I have Instagram leads like that. Y'all saw me with the Oculus on my Instagram. If you didn't see it, follow me on Instagram, but I did a really dope video yesterday. I made that an ad. So from that ad, I don't know, I think I probably got 15 people just within the last 24 hours that have reached out. So what I do is I break them up, and I have about 2 or 3 people that I trust. I don't trust a lot of people to call people back because some people don't have the focus. This is why I'm talking about this now. I'm like, you call somebody back, they don't answer, you don't call them back again. Like this journal, if I didn't have this, hold on. If I didn't have this journal, I wouldn't be able to keep up. So if you can see right here, I highlight people that I've called, the dates that I called them, when they told me to call them back. If I wasn't doing that, I wouldn't be able to remember all these people that reach out to me. You know what I mean? And so I have my assistant now. It's also her responsibility to say, hey, did you talk to Elise? Hey, did you talk to Sheila? Hey, did you talk to Sharon? So she helps me stay on track with the people that I'm supposed to call, because honest to God, I've called people who I might have given a list to, let's just say person A, for 15 people, person A, Ben's been trying to get on Instagram with China, but it's not letting him. It didn't let me yesterday either. But anyway, 15 people, I might give 15 people to person A, and then I call the 4th person. They say, I never got a call. I'm like, you never even got a call. So what that tells me is that most people don't have the discipline to follow up. So every single day throughout my day, I make sure that I take time, and I'm not just calling people that reached out to me 24 hours ago. I'll go back to January. Sean just closed somebody from the summer. but he's really gotten good at going back because we realized within that list, and then sometimes people forget, sometimes people lie, sometimes people did call, sometimes the leader did call them. But what I'm saying is that, what is this? Somebody trying to connect to complete the connection process. I don't know what they're talking about. Oh, he got on. Thank God. He got on China's Instagram. But anyway, yeah, so I use my journal, I guess is what I'm saying. And then after that, you might want to start doing a getting started right call for your new people to make sure that you download your demo account. Have you put in your first trade? So for example, I have 2 influencers right now that I'm working with, Tyra Wallace from Love and Hip Hop New York and Carrie Lampkin, which is my business partner in real estate. This is Carrie's like 3rd time signing up. So now what I'm doing is I text them when the Bitcoin trade comes in, I put them in a text and I say, hey, do you have a minute? Let's put this trade in, because I got to go extra with them because I know they're not going to do it on their own. And if they don't do it on their own, they're not going to stay. So I go like over and beyond. Can you put in this trade right now? And I keep texting them. Now, is it extra work? It is. But they're influencers. And I know if I can ever keep them, then I know that they can really get it. You see what I'm saying? But now I know. So you got to know. And then you got to know in terms of placement. I know some people aren't going to have the personality because some people ain't going to baby people that way. And I respect when I have leaders who like, I'm babying people. So I know I'm not giving you no babies, whether they big babies in terms of influence or little babies. I'm not giving you none of them because they're going to fall off. Because
okay, I'm babying people now, so you can send them to me.
Okay. Exactly.
Out of Joel, I'll baby him. I promise. I got you.
Listen,
slow down to speed up.
You got to slow down to speed up. You gotta, all of that. I'm not babying them. And if you're not using the journal, you're going to forget them. There's no way I can keep up with all the people I got on my team. I'm using this journal, and I'm not just using the journal to write something today. I'm using the journal going back and saying, okay, who do I need to call back from yesterday? Okay, wait, did I talk to that person from last week? Oh, wait a minute. That's right. Look at this list right here. And then you got to put the date on everything. So this is my date. These are my people from 12/2. Kathleen, I wrote a note next to her. Call and text, no reply. Maisha, not interested. So you can write a whole line through them. So I'm not keeping up. I can't tell you off the top of my head who I brought in October, but because I journal it, I can go back and say, yep, these leaders I got to talk to at least twice a week because they're influencers and if I can ever get them. But if you don't have the fortitude and the perseverance to stay on them, well, I was waiting for them to call me back, but child, you got to smother. So there are some people, I hope this is helping you guys. There are some people that I absolutely smother because they are worth smothering. But I don't smother them because I remember off the top of my head all the time. I'm using my journal to remind me, did you talk to people? So when I ask leaders, hey, have you talked to such and such? No, I text them. I'm thinking that was an influencer. You really had somebody, but you just didn't smother them. And so I know such and such maybe might not be able to handle them right now because they're not going to smother them and they really need to be smothered. And then there's some leaders who, as long as, you know, they are easy to respond, they're going to be good or plug in like Felicia. Felicia's been in for 5 months. She plugs in. She easy. I don't have to worry about her. But somebody who don't show up. So the last thing I do is my contact manager. This is where I use my assistant. I go through my contact manager and I have her call all my deactivations at least once a week. And I say, okay, if you get them on the phone, call me right away on 3-way. So if I see Tasha's number and I'm in the middle of a Zoom, if nothing else, I'm going to say, hold on, let me call them because I already know she's working on deactivations right now so that I can reactivate them. Because if she get them on the phone and don't put me on right away, they might not pick up again. You see what I'm saying? But I cannot tell you how many people that I have been able to get back because I got on the phone with them and was able to, you know, basically tell them, I'm going to smother you. But and I think that's the thing. A lot of times people don't want to put that work in. And it is extra work. That's why I don't beat up nobody if you don't smother your team. And I don't smother my whole team, but it's certain ones I know I'm going to have to smother. And I use my journal so that I can keep up with it. And then my new people, I'm constantly saying, I'll send them a text message and put the leaders that I put, in with them and say, hey, do you have time to put in a text message? Because between me and these two other people, I know one of y'all can stop and call. This takes a lot of mental and emotional focus and fortitude, but it's worth it because when I look at my overall volume and my retention is much better than when I was not doing it.
So
can I jump in there?
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let me jump in there real quick, Dr. J, because I try to keep a system. I was gonna say, now if you don't have assistance and you don't have all that, the extra help on your hands, I kind of use, for me, because I do receive some prospects from Dr. Jewel, plus I have my own to keep up with. I use an Excel sheet, and so that's the thing that I do is I will go ahead and get them in. Well, let me even back it up. I started using the What is I Am funnel Brandon Boyd talked about. And so I like that because I use it on all of my social media. And so that makes people go through it. And then it already logs in and it sends me reminders. If you didn't know, the What is I Am sends you reminders to contact those people every few days. So it gives you like the first day, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days. So I don't have to
say hey to y'all. I'm sorry, Sean.
Go ahead.
Sean too. I just wanted Sean to come and say hey to y'all. She helped me keep my house together.
Hello, how y'all doing?
Thank you, Sean. Okay, Sean James, back to you. That was good though. The IM funnel system. Okay.
Yeah, and so that helps me keep up. But then at the same time, I will have a list of potential people that I spoke to, and they say, yeah, I'm interested. Send me a video or something. So I'll send them a video. I put them in a text message with Dr. Jewel. And then, of course, I put them on my prospect list on an Excel sheet. And so what I do is when I speak to them, I kind of code them. If they're what I call hot, those are people that are like, yeah, I'm interested. I just have a couple questions. Then I'll color code that name on my Excel sheet. If I've just left a message or whatever, they're going to stay on there. And then, of course, when they sign up, I now transfer them off of my potential customer and I put them on just sign up people. So now you can keep up because if Dr. Jewel or anybody asks me, well, do you remember signing up so-and-so and so in October or whatever? I can always go to my Excel sheet and boom, their name is on there. Plus, I've been following up with them. I'm going to call them and follow up with them because it does. When you stay in this business for a long time, guys, I've been in 5 years. Do you understand? I probably talked to well over 3,000 people, and my list is now well over 1,500 to 2,000 people. So you got to keep up with these people, because the timing may not be now. It may be, 6 months from now. And if you don't get them, I promise you somebody else in IM will run across them and then they'll sign them up. So this is kind of how I keep up with my system, is using the Excel sheets that way. Plus, I do have a journal for quick. Maybe I'm not around a computer. I am going to have them in a notebook and I'm going to write them down like that. Or maybe, they pop up on my phone. I make sure you write it down. And the last thing I'll say is remember your list that you get. I don't care when they came on. That is a prospect list. Do you understand? People sell those lists online, those hot leads and stuff. So you're getting a hot lead list instead of recreating. I mean, my thing is, if you save everybody that you've been in, that have you ran across, whether it's neighbors, friends, or whatever, and you just go back and call them, these people that said they had an interest, they're warm to hot. And if every day you keep trying to create cold, I mean, you're kind of having to restart the process, which is great. You still need to add to that list, but don't get a person who's 50% and drop them for a person that's at 0%. Stay with those 50%ers and keep building a relationship so they'll get to 60, 75, and then they'll sign up. And so that's why I go back still with people that when Jewel blessed me long time ago to trust me with a couple people, I still call them and they're 2 and 3 years old. And guess what? They're now at 75 to 80%. And then they're like, yeah, I was waiting for this to happen, or I just moved or whatever. Now I'm ready. And that's why I keep the list. And that's why you need to have something to write them down. An Excel sheet is just really great because I could stick it in the cloud. I could transfer it. Or let's just say you want a downline person that is good at follow up. I can now send them the Excel sheet and it's already broken down for them on hot people or people that I have contacted maybe 5-6 times. And I put a note in my Excel sheet. Spoke to Dr. Jewel Tankard, saw a video, was on I Am presentation, trying to get money. Follow up in 3 months. Because some people tell you, I'll be ready 3 months from now. And see, you'll forget them, but then I'll run across them. And I'll call that 3 months because they saw me on Facebook. And I'm like, yeah, I spoke to this dude, Anthony somebody, but he never followed back up with me, but I'm ready now. Now, don't get me wrong. If I know who you are, I'm going to reach out. Anthony, hey, man, you spoke to this dude. He said he ready. But guess what? If they don't know your name, which 9 times out of 10 they don't, I got to sign them up. Somebody going to sign them up. So that's just how I kind of work my system right there. I mean, I'm just being real. But, yeah, I'm definitely going to call. I'm going to try to find out. Sometimes if they've mentioned a name, I'll call Dr. Jewel. Hey, do you know so-and-so on somebody's team? And if she knows, I'm definitely going to connect it because we're one big family. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, people, when they are ready, they ready. When they hot, they are like, yo, send me the link. Like, I can't wait 2 more days. And so you gotta have it, in your list. So that's me. Thank you.
That's really good. No, you have lived that thing. You don't play no game with them lists. How you go back old like that is just amazing. Anybody else that hasn't said anything? Otherwise, we're going to get ready to wrap. Obviously, we went over today. This was really good. I just want to make sure that we are all open to correction so we can have clarity and go into Big Vision 2022 being bigger and better than ever. All right.
Dr. Jewel?
Yeah,
this is Pastor Lene. I just wanted to get on and just say that I am so grateful for this whole team. I'm grateful for the spirit that you have that just kind of flows down on everyone else. The transparency is just 100%, the humility, everything is just so great. And one thing that I share when I share about I Am with prospects is that my chairman leader and the other leaders that's with her, that's on our team, you can't find any better than them because they don't let us go. They're just right there, just working with us and making sure that we have everything that we need, to succeed in this thing. And so I just wanted to get on and say this whole conversation was it was over the top. It went past 100%. And it's so needed, especially in our community. So I'm so grateful that God has just anointed you. I see it as an assignment. And so I'm so grateful that God has anointed you to do the work that you're doing to help pull us to that place that God has so assigned us to be. And so I just thank you. I am grateful and I appreciate everyone that's here who's doing the great work that they're doing.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We're all in this thing together and all growing together and all going up. So thank you. Okay, anyone else?
Hey, Dr. Jewel.
Hey.
I wasn't going to get on because I'm not having a good hair day all over the place. But anyway, I just want to, I know I always thank you for your transparency. I thank God that He's allowed me to be a part of an organization. I'm sorry, I'm trying to put the dogs in the car. That He has blessed me to be a part of an organization with such a, great group of people. And I've learned so much this year. I'm so thankful. I'm so blessed because I've learned so much, not just about myself, but about business. And just to know that there's people that are out there that are like-minded. You find like-minded people in church, but to find like-minded people in business, that's a true blessing. And I just thank you for everything that you give us, every nugget, every tidbit, every I thank you that when you come to us, you don't present yourself to be perfect. Because now we know that we don't have to be perfect to make it. We don't have to be perfect. It's okay to make mistakes because we learn from our mistakes. So I thank you. I thank you for being you. I thank you for being who God created you to be. And I thank you for all the value that you bring. And it, just being a part of your team is just a blessing. And like I tell people, I can't miss Rise and Profit. I have to be on Rise and Profit because you just never know what Dr. Jewel is going to say, who's going to be on there, what you're going to learn. And like you said, you may not know everything, but listen, we will figure it out as we go along. So thank you for helping me to figure it out as I go along. So I just wanted to say that. I didn't want to let the call go without letting you know how much I love and appreciate you.
Well, love and appreciate you too. I really do. Really do. Thank you so much. Okay. Anybody else? Any takeaways from today's call? It was a long one, but like I said, we off for the rest of the week. So,
Dr. Jewel, can you hear me okay?
Hey, I can.
I just want to say real quick, appreciate you for having this, off the cuff mentorship. And yes, I did take a few things away from it. One of the biggest things for me is that I hate having those hard conversations. So, my wife and I, we can attest to that. I don't like confrontation. So, having those hard conversations, you got to do it. So it's just like with anything in life, it pushes you out of your comfort zone. So you got to be willing to get uncomfortable. Can't stay comfortable for the rest of your life. So, that's pretty much my biggest takeaway besides, budgeting, of course. And, we're working on that as well. So, just don't go beyond your means and, like you said, pay your bills. So working towards that. Yeah, but you'll never not hear me. So I'll always be in contact.
I love it. I love it. I appreciate you, Aaron. Thank you so much for chiming in, brother. All right. Any other takeaways from today?
Great day, Dr. Jewel. This is Dee Dee. Hope you're doing well. I couldn't just not say this. Literally before I got on this call, I was taking a shower and I was asking God, how am I going to make $1 million plus in this business, in your business? And literally the answer was with my correction, with my clarity, and with my vision. So I'm so grateful because this literally was an answered prayer. And also wanted to say one other thing. At the last Charlotte event, you literally said when you were on stage, you were saying at the next event, if you're high or if you're smoking weed, you won't be at the next event. And I just wanted to testify to that because I'm literally weed free. And I'm just so grateful because I didn't think it would be possible. But when you said that, I laughed because I'm like, nah, that's not going to be me. But I am. And I'm just so grateful because God is really raising me up higher. So I'm just thankful for everything that you bring to the organization, into my life, into my family's life. So I love you and thank you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you, girl. Yay! Oh my gosh, I can hear it. I hear the clarity, Dee Dee. I'm so proud of you, girl. And I know you're feeling stronger. First it's kind of hard, but after a while you start feeling stronger. You start feeling clear. You start handling things better. You start handling pressure better because pressure, it's a part of it. And so I want to handle pressure. I don't want pressure to handle me. And so I am so proud of you, And I know your testimony on here is helping some other people get weed free going into 2022, drawing a line in the sand and saying, you know what? I'm going in clear and stronger than ever. Guys, and that stuff has side effects on your organs too. And they don't talk to you about that. If you've been smoking weed 10 years, 15 years, it's going to start showing up, not just in your thinking and your mental, capability, but it's going to start showing up in your kidneys and your pancreas and your overall immune system. They don't talk about that, and you need to know that because there is another part. All right. Last person.
Dr. Jewel, my name is Naya. Thank you.
Hi, Maya.
Hi. I'm out in Seattle, Washington on Dwayne Lodge's team. so grateful for this call and for your leadership. And when I joined this company, I was in a place where my faith was just on the rocks. And basically, I found God here. I thought I was coming for a business, and I found God in the relationships, and every call has been part of the divine assignment to get me, in alignment with God and help me find clarity. So I'm so grateful. I've been an entrepreneur, but this has changed my life. It's been transformational. So I just didn't want the year to end without saying thank you. And I'm going chairman as I watch you and I'm learning. I got the housekeeper and I got an assistant because I said, well, Dr. Jewel is doing it, I got to do it. So so grateful. Yes, thank you. Thank you for putting it out there. And I can see the transformation every single day, every single minute with the help that's come on board. And I'm just looking forward to what lies ahead. So I just want to say thank you. And thank you to this incredible team. I'm so grateful.
Yay! Yes, housekeeper assistant, let's go. So proud of you. And I know you probably feel so much better having that help, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
100%.
All right, guys. Well, listen, let me go on to the next part of my day. I got a list of things here on my journal. I hope you have a journal. Don't forget, love on your people, call them back. Those influencers, guys, they need to be on your radar. If not, you won't keep them. And I want you guys to keep them. 2022, your retention. Those systems, like Anthony said, are important. You start where you are. Sean talked a lot about that stuff. I thought it was good because he's like, what if I ain't got no personal assistant? I'm the personal assistant. Well, there's a system for you too, but I know it all starts with using a journal. If you're not writing stuff down, you are not going to be able to keep up with your life. So anyway, I love you. I declare abundant harvest overtake us all. Thank you, God, for correction today. Thank you for clarity, and thank you for bigger vision. All right, God bless. Love you guys. Bye. See you later.
Max, love you.
Let's go.